not sure I can sum this up totally other than I think we all on this side agree that the moratorium should persist. We don't know enough about shale gas. There are too many issues, too many concerns. I will say in response to what we just heard that, yeah, things are worse at the time of the new well drilling and hydraulic fracturing, but as Bill mentioned, the fall off in production of these shale gas wells is incredible. You know, most of the gas production's in the first year. If you want to keep a field producing, you are re-drilling, re-fracking at least every second year. So it's a continual reindustrialization, which does two things. It's a continual affront to the environment. It also leads to energy insecurity, because when the economics fall off, all of a sudden, bam, you can't go into re-drill and the energy supply goes off. So in addition to the boom-bust of the jobs, the energy supply is very much boom-bust. This is not the classic well with steady production. It's a very exponential fall-off in production.
Thank you. Final response.
Yeah, first of all, I want to reply to something that was talked about earlier, which was, what's the urgency? Let me tell you the urgency. The urgency is there's a lot of people in New York and Pennsylvania who are hurting. They're not hurting here in Ithaca because you've got Cornell. But I want you to go out to Schuyler County. I want you to go out to Steuben County. I want you to go out to Cattaraugus County, to some of these other areas that are suffering tremendously, tremendously. And as Daniel Henniger from the Wall Street Journal said, when he wrote about this issue, there's a lot of people who would like New York State, upstate New York, to be in pastoral poverty. That's the urgency. There are people, your schools are losing enrollment all across upstate New York. Your construction industry is basically kaput. The farming, and I'm a big believer in agriculture. I've done agricultural economic development plans for several counties in New York State. I'm a believer in it, but I've got to be honest, it's not going to deliver this upstate economically. It's not going to do it. It's going to be a contributor, but it's not the solution. And I would also point out that we're having population declines in most of Western New York. This Western New York and upstate New York is going down the tubes. That's the reality, folks. It's going down the tubes, and here we have people relying upon natural gas. Most of New York State relies upon natural gas. As John says, it's time we work together to get this done. And I'll just end by saying I noticed a little softening in Walter Hank's position tonight, in the sense that he says we can make it right. So thank you, Walter.
Okay, I'll let Walter finish. I have the final word. This is a good sign of a debate. It wants to go on and on. We don't want to end it. So it's been a very successful debate. I want to congratulate the audience. And I think we've proven one thing, before I let Walter have the final word. I think we've proven one thing today, and it's that you can have civil discourse about a very controversial issue, at least in room 305 Ice Hall. All right. I don't know if you can have it anywhere else. But I want to thank all the panelists. It's been a great debate, and Walter, will you have a final word?
I believe that the applicable public policy in this matter is to first do no harm. And so I would suggest that you look at the little interactive map at the Marcellus Shale Special Section at top6targeting.com. Look at the communities where I'm sure decades ago they heard a lot of rosy promises about how this is going to help them. We need energy, it's true, but the key thing is in New York, we've inherited a terrible legacy of oil and gas contamination problems in Bolivar, New York, in Andover, New York, even in Corning, New York. We have these 5,000 unplugged wells hither and yon, and so we have an opportunity to make sure that if we go forward, we're not going to make our existing problems worse. I'm open to suggestion, but I'm a hard marker on this one. I'm not going to take anything that I don't think is going to be enforced and it's going to work in the real world. Thank you.
Thank you.